Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Elsie Burrows with the Travel and Tourism Research Association. TTRA unites the best and brightest in the travel and tourism industry, and we're so happy that you're here with us today. We are looking forward to our final annual chapter conference of the year, the Asia Pacific chapter, taking place November 30th through December 3rd in Bangkok, Thailand. Registration is open for the 2025 Marketing Outlook Forum, taking place in Fort Worth, Texas on January 27th through 29th. Register now for early bird savings. If you would like to learn more about MOF and annual chapter conferences, look into upcoming webinars, or become a member of TTRA, please visit TTRA.com. Welcome to the TTRA Partner Webinar, Help Shape a New Marketing Campaign Impact Report and New Tourism Spend Report Before They Go Live in 2025, with Kevin Ching, Head of Advertising, and Ian Ross, Head of Civic at Placer.ai. This session is intended to be interactive, and we hope you will utilize the raise hand feature, which can be found at the bottom of your screen, to interact with the call. Now I'll hand it over to Kevin and Ian. Thank you.
All right, great. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much to the folks at TTRA for putting this together for us. We're thrilled to be here. So this presentation is going to be exactly as advertised, meaning we are here to show you some cool new stuff and then to get your feedback on that cool new stuff. And with the hope being that you, being the experts at TTRA, can help shape the products that we at Placer are rolling out with you in mind. So with that said, I've probably met many of you at the different Marcom and other TTRA events. I'm Ian Ross. I lead our civic strategy, and I'm joined by Kevin Ching, who leads our marketing and advertising strategy, among some other roles at the company, retail as well. So part of what we're going to do is make this as interactive as possible. And I'm just going to open another screen that I've got going. And we're going to show you some of the things we're rolling out. And this is like a roll up the sleeves webinar. So not a sit back and take it in and multitask webinar. So we're really hoping to get your active feedback. So first things first, there's a chat tool. I'm going to post hello on the chat tool. I want everybody to feel free to use this thing because we've muted everybody so we don't hear all like the barking dogs and cats, but use the chat tool as a conversation, as a forum. So this is a place where we want to be chatting. And then what we're going to do is literally show you some of the products that are now available and are rolled out and are as well as some products that are under development, and get your feedback on them. And then we've created this handy dandy little Google Form survey that we're going to send to y'all as part of this, to actually hear your specific thoughts about the data and the features that you need to do your job better. And there are no wrong answers here. We ask that you pull no punches. I mean, the whole purpose of this is legitimate feedback from you, so you can put your hands in the sandbox and shape the offerings that you can then use in the future as we roll them out. So with that, for those of you who aren't familiar with Placer, we are a geolocation data company. We observe the movement of mobile devices, right? So we leverage a panel of tens of millions of mobile devices. Right. We see how they move from location to location, or geofence to geofence. A geofence can be a market, a county, a city, a destination, right down to an attraction, a business, a park, your main street, the water park, whatever is meaningful to you, a group of hotels or a single hotel, right? So you can decide what the locations are that are of interest to you, and Placer can give you the insights. Now, on top of that data that you're used to receiving from us, which we call location data, we have recently rolled out a visitor overnights dashboard, which I'm sure many of you have seen, but I'm going to just give you a quick glance of it. And now, leveraging data from our partners at banks and financial institutions, we have a spend data set, which is based on credit card transactions that occur in market, right? And we're going to show you that data as well, right? And then I'm going to walk you through that, one of our cool new products, right? It's the overnights dashboard coupled with a spend component. Then I'm going to hand it over to Kevin. And he's going to similarly walk you through a very cool new strategy that we've rolled out for local advertising. All right. And when we get through those two and get some of your feedback, if we can get through those two and get some of your feedback, that'd be amazing. And then we want to speak with you about a lodging report that we're producing that will be coming out in Q1 if we can get to it. And then the wild card of TBD, which is literally, we want to know from you, once we get that location data, spend data, advertising data, and lodging data in your hands, what's next, right? So with that, what I'm going to do is change my screen, my share for just a moment. Doodaloo. Cool. And now, hopefully, you're all seeing my visitor dashboard. I'm at the city of Tucson right now.
Ian, I think we just see you.
Oh, that's not good. Stand by. Thanks for that, Kevin. Appreciate that. Let's try that again.
Oh, Emily sees dashboard.
How about now?
Okay. Everybody else but me. I know what I did. All right.
I see dashboard. I see dashboard. So do I. So do I. Okay, cool.
All right.
Kevin's trying to trip me up. All right. So I'll get you back. So this is our visitor overnight dashboard. So the way Placer thinks of overnights is we're observing the movement of tens of millions of devices. So if the device comes in market and overnights in the market, we're going to count it that way. And what's cool about it, that if you think about it that way, is, so what I did is I'm in Tucson, right? I said that the last 12 months, I'm going to walk you through some of the features so that you can start to think about how these work for you and what's missing for you. Love the way this is looking on my screen. Maybe that's better, right? You can set visit length, right? All visits, or just a certain number of days. So if you're ISOing for business or leisure, or however you want to think through your visitors, right? You can ISO for specific origin states or CBSAs, and even the demographics. Show me my top visitor origins for visitors whose household income is up to X dollars or over X Y dollars. So again, you can set your filters and then your time frame, right? So this is our visitor overnights dashboard, and I'm looking at last 12 months. And it's cool because our data goes by, you can compare 2019 and 20, 21, 22. So here's what I see for Tucson, right? The first thing I'm going to see, the total number of overnight trips and my year-over-year change, right? The number of nights and my year-over-year change. And then again, as I mentioned earlier, the total spend and the trend line there. And then for each, for my visitor origins, the way the dashboard is set up now is we default to show you the home CBSAs. So that's probably one of my first questions to think about. Is that the right data for you to be, to be actionable for you? So the home CBSAs, the number of trips per home CBSA, the number of nights per home CBSA, and then the total spent from that CBSA. All right. And you can see how Tucson's performing, right? Then there's our map that's interactive and shows the home locations of the visitors.
And then Ian, there was a question if these are unique counts. But Emily,
I see this. Is it unique counts, Emily? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by unique counts, but this is the observed overnight by visitor. So if you're saying the difference between it's the number of devices, and I believe they're counting each device once per month. So if it comes in, Cindy Lee does not repeat in a given month, is how it's currently structured. By the way, these are exactly the right questions. Perfect. Thank you. So now let's jump into the spend analysis. So the way we are let me tell you where this data is coming from. This is the most concise way to describe this is the in-market credit card transaction data. That's what this is. So that means that if somebody was in the market and transacted with a credit or debit card, whether they used their Apple phone, their tap, right? But if it's linked to the credit card or debit card, or they swipe the card, that would be captured by the banks and the financial institutions who we partner with, right? So it's a wide array of, major credit cards that are coming to us. We look at the home billing address of the credit card. We crunch that. I'm not technical, but so I say we crunch that with our geolocation data, right? And then we create these estimates for you. So as you can see inside of Tucson, right, the hotel data, the year-over-year change, and then the total spend on hotels for that time period, and the year-over-year change. And we break that down by retail, groceries, gasoline, restaurants. Candidly, the categories that often have different taxing brackets and contribute to the overall visitor economy is the way we structure this. Okay, so we're going to want you to take a look at this. Then we break down the spend by home CBSA. So people coming out of Sierra Vista, Douglas, Arizona CBSA, you can see their total spend is $100 million, and the year-over-year change for that spend. And we break it down by home location, or by home CBSA, if that's of use to you. So finally, this will be my last comment for this little short presentation. You see that the visitor spend year over year, and then the last 12 months. All right, so the trend lines. Now, I'm going to switch screens again. I know that was sort of quick, but that's the way we're going to walk through this. So again, just the summary. The overnights dashboard shows, this one, a little different location, not Tucson, shows your overnight trips, your visit nights, visitor spend in total, and then the spend data itself broken down by category, and then broken down by origin. So what are
And then Ian, there is
Yeah.
a question. So, is the spend in marketing spend only? Lodging be underestimated?
So let me answer that more broadly. If the transaction occurs online and not in market, then it's not built into our it's not built into the data that we're getting from our partners. But our team has made a great effort to improve accuracy of our spend data. We've looked at hundreds of reports of spend data in many of the destinations that we work with. Percentage of the spend we capture. That's a good question. I would need to get back to Peach Morrison, South Carolina Low Country. I will need to get back to you on that, and I will. Question for our technical team based on percentages. Let me pull up. I'm going to pull up a Google survey that I'm going to show you. And then ultimately, we're going to send to you at the end of this. But yeah, okay. I'm going to change screens just for 1 second. And then I'm going to kick this over to Kevin. All right, here, check this out. Yeah. Everybody seeing my screen? So what we've built is a little bit of a survey to just ask you for your feedback on what I showed you. That's on, I know this is rapid fire, but you don't have to add your email address if you don't want to. Just give us your name and your org. And then I want you to rate this just like you would rate, on Yelp. So the overnight visitor dashboard, 1 star, nice, but this isn't really vital to my work. 5 stars, yes, this is awesome. This is vital to my work. I need this. Okay, give us stars. Then if this data is vital to you, how often do you need it? Like, let's say we could deliver it to you, right? A push report. Is it rare? Maybe once or twice per year, only for the big events or the big quarters, Q4, or do you need it every month, or even more often than that? And then what's missing? We want to know what data is missing from the overnights visitor dashboard, right? I could name a few, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want you to tell us. Just tell us what you need. And by the way, while you're filling this out, I'm going to go ping the product team and find out the percentage of data that we of the spend that we think. I'm going to go Slack someone. Okay, and the fourth question, I want you to do the same, but I want you to do it for the visitors dashboard. Excuse me, the spend dashboard. One, nice to have, but this isn't my job as a researcher in my DMO or my university, wherever I'm doing research. This isn't vital, you know? Or is this thing, you know, is it a nice to have, like a vitamin, or is it a pain pill? Like I need this, right? And then the same thing, how often do you need that data and what's missing? Okay, and that gets me through question 6. Now what I'm going to do is hand this over to Kevin, okay? And Kevin's going to take the reins and he's going to run through a presentation for you today. Yes, Wendy, we are capturing domestic visitors only. So to Wendy Keel's question on the visitor overnights dashboard, Placer observes US-based SIM card data currently. And I'm going to go jump in and see if I can't get the answer to that question while Kevin's going through his presentation. So thank you all so much. I'll be right back.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Ian. Let me just get to where I am. So, my name's Kevin Ching. I'm SVP of Platform Solutions here at Placer. Been about 2 years. As Ian mentioned, I run our advertising, our retail, and our restaurant verticals. So it means, working a lot on ensuring we've got good product market fit, that, we're serving needs of clients, and we're sort of understanding, where innovation comes from. So, when Ian told me about this webinar and sort of told me what he was doing to get feedback, and asked if I was interested, I jumped at the chance, right? My background is much more in ad tech, martech. I worked for Nielsen for a number of years and did a lot of, again, marketing research, but mostly for brands. And, just if I look at the last couple of years or just even the last year here at Placer, I'll be honest, we did not have great marketing products, I'd say, a year ago. And, we spent this year really working on getting more products that helps with targeting and for measurement, but we focused on retail, right? Those are the verticals that I ran. So being able to now have a baseline of some foundational things that we can do, I think the idea here is to really open this up and try to get feedback from you folks on what you would like from your advertising or marketing partners, and also working with agencies and things like that, right? I think it's like, what can we do for this industry, and get your feedback there. Okay, so thanks for joining, and thanks, Ian, for thinking of me. So I won't spend much time on the retail focus. I think this is just going to emphasize, again, where we started and why we're here to get more feedback. But, what Placer's core is for retail is that we will understand a retailer's trade area, right? So we'll think about, 1 restaurant, 50 restaurants, all McDonald's in the US. We can do this at scale, but every restaurant, every store is going to have a unique trade area. And so we have data that can be easily pushed out to all the different buying platforms. And so you keep that advertising in your trade area, right? Not everybody is Walmart, not everybody is Starbucks, and you can target everybody in the United States. And so being able to keep your advertising in your trade area, much more efficient. Great. Then we have some strategies inside the trade area. Again, you can reach out if you want more information on this, if you're trying to get information on like hotels or restaurants, and things like that within your areas. But just, quickly being able to understand, maybe some stores, you want to grow the size of that trade area. So we have some strategies there. Maybe there's some pockets within your trade area where you're losing customers, and therefore you want to, target just those neighborhoods specifically. So being able to identify those, and then maybe understanding whether or not, you lost them due to a changing demographic, because we understand audiences, or, if maybe new competition has come in and you've lost market share, right? So you can, again, see that the theme here is understanding that trade area of that of that retailer, of that restaurant, right? On the measurement side, right, being able to have measurement that complements our targeting is kind of how we've built this, right? So, hey, I want to add Spotify to my media mix. I don't want to, run that national. I don't want to run that across all my markets. How can I try running this just in the Denver market, see if I got any improvement, compare that Denver market to my other markets, and see if I can isolate or attribute any increases to Spotify, right? Maybe I'm going after a specific competitor in specific zip codes where I know it's a battle, and the visit share in that zip code is pretty hotly contested. Can I put messaging in that zip code and then measure whether or not I increased my share, right? So again, very specific. And then being able to sort of measure all of those different strategies that I outlined on our advertising program, right? But when I then sometimes, I worked for an agency for a number of years. I worked for a company called Ninth Decimal, and ran all of our data monetization products there. And we would say, sure, we can help, tourism boards and DMOs and things like that, right? Like, we understand the people that come to your cities. We understand, or to your events, whatever we are promoting, we understand where those people come from. And so being able to give you sort of that distribution so that you can, get more messaging in that area, because that area seems to resonate with whatever you're promoting. And then also, demographics around that, right? So we say, sure, we can do that. But, I think I'd be the first to admit that, we designed our marketing program here at Placer mostly with retailers in mind. And so as Ian has been mentioning, the whole point here is to do things differently and, ask you, if you were the CEO or, you ran in our positions, what would you pushing our product team to do differently? So I'll do like Ian did and show you a couple questions that we've got in that survey. But first, just to sort of like open your mind into kind of, the things that are possible, right? So you're not just influenced on maybe what Placer has done or just influenced on what other people in the marketplace are doing. I just kind of want to give some thought starters here. So like number one is that many people think of Placer as a market intelligence company and instantly go to the mobile devices and our panel and being able to understand events based off of, visitor journeys, right? People being at home, and then, what are their sort of behaviors, going to work and, return to office type metrics, or, we talked about all that retail or even travel based on the device. But Placer wants to bring in a lot more data sources. So this is just an example of what we're working with on our BD team to explore other partnerships, and we bring that data in, right? Like just the ones right in the middle of my screen here is ADP. And so, being able to understand, sort of paycheck or bonuses or whatever ADP has, there are some aggregated segments that they can put out in privacy friendly ways. And so how would we bring those in, right? How would we bring in more housing data from maybe Zillow or Moody's or things like that, right? So it really is the sky's the limit. And so, as if you decide to participate, hopefully you will, in the feedback session, please know that just, if there's a data set that you have in mind, Placer's probably thinking about it as well. And it is certainly not off limits to how we want to start developing things to suit you folks. Okay, so that's one thing. I think the other thing is that, it feels to me that a lot of what, ad tech companies put out are things around digital, right? If you even think about like, retail media networks, right? Being on like Marriott.com or being on Southwest.com or, even Uber travel. Obviously, all of the digital signals out there are important. But, are we over indexing on digital because that's where, these digital identifiers that everybody thinks about is? So, we'd like to start saying, getting other opinions on whether or not we've over indexed, or, if you see that, a given channel works better for, DMOs or tourism boards, great. Please help us, understand that we've kind of over-indexed on digital if we have? So that'd be a kind of a framing of a question. And then last two, if I boil what advertising is, there's, how am I going to get my ad in front of the right people, and sort of talking about that as audience targeting, right? Sort of that practice of just identifying the audience or the people that you want to get your ads in front of. Like, if you had a magic wand, how would you go build that audience, right? What would you say was the best way of finding people that you wanted to do to get them to your event? If you had the magic wand, what would you do? And sort of similarly for measurement, right? Like, in my world, I think about, did somebody see an ad and then did they convert, find a control group? Did they, equal conversion rates, one higher than another? Ian's been talking about spend and, or certain demographics or certain cities spending more than other ones. If you're timing your audience, your marketing campaigns in specific cities, are you seeing bumps from those cities during those date ranges, right? Like, those are some of the things that Placer's thinking about. But again, are there things that we're missing in terms of how you would like that to be measured? So let me just make sure if I didn't see any questions. So I think what I'll do here is I'll go into, kind of what Ian did here is he was kind of going through, what his questions were. And so I'll go through mine, right? So a lot of this just reinforces what we were talking before. What are your top 3 media channels? Again, I think we're pretty heavily indexed on digital. What are some other ones that are really important? As a reminder, retail media networks, those are both in-store and online, right? Marriott.com, Southwest.com, obvious places to go. But, being in this industry, I see more and more screens popping up in retailers and restaurants. And, recently been reading a lot about Chuck E. Cheese, believe it or not. My kids are a little bit older, but Chuck E. Cheese got new leadership, and they're thinking adults first, right? It's like, yes, the adults, yes, you still have the birthday parties, but for the adults, you want, to have better food, you want to have better entertainment and things like that. And as part of that, they also recognize the value of their audience. And so they've now started creating retail media networks that you can put ads in front of their audiences, right? And travel is a big one that they've been talking a lot about. Okay. I see there's a question, share this feedback link afterwards. Yeah, so we will send this survey out to everyone. So you'll have it absolutely positively. Okay, so that was question 7. Question 8, again, if you had to prioritize, would you, have Placer focus more on solutions related to targeting or measurement? I was so tempted to put both because obviously so are important, but, I was kind of trying to force rank, right? So for your particular, approaches, do you feel that, the marketplace, has bigger gaps in targeting or bigger gaps in measurement, I guess would be the way to think about 8. And again, force rank there. Can we return a return visitor? Yeah. Okay. So there's the survey from Ian. And then, yes, I mean, we do have the ability, Placer does, the question is, can you identify, Placer return visitors from origins over 100 miles away? Placer does not work at an individual level, right? The data that we receive, it's been stripped of any PII, like a maid or an address or an email, and the data that we receive is also aggregated. So, where we're really going to sort of lean in on that is, here's the census block group that has the highest number of return visitors, right? Or sorry, of repeat visitors, right? So we can rank census block groups or zip codes or neighborhoods, CBSAs, whatever your sort of aggregation is. We can look at the prevalence of repeat visitors, but we're not going to be able to identify a single person. Okay. Keep the questions coming, but I'm going to keep going here. So question 9, if you had to choose just one option for the entire year, this is a little bit more around targeting. You know, do you lean more on, or would you, what would be your ideal state? You know, is it demographics, right? Being able to really get a good sense of demographics of people, and then target based on demographics. Another option is doing it based off of psychographics, right? Like what are the what are my behaviors online, right? Who am I following? What content am I watching? A lot of that kind of stuff. So, what are sort of the attributes that make me me, and how do I spend my time? A third option would be kind of what we're talking a lot about here, right? So knowing that this is a neighborhood or an area where you get a lot of historical visitation, right? Maybe you're promoting a celebrity golf tournament and you're looking for people who have traveled to golf tournaments in the past, and identifying the neighborhoods where that's more prevalent than something else, right? So being able to base on historical travel information, or lastly, contextual media. And again, I was thinking about, ranking things like that, but this is really a forced rank of what would be top of your list. Same question on measurement, right? Before we were sort of digging into targeting. And so for measurement, what's really, really important here, I did put in other, I think we're pretty limited. We have the sales stuff that we've talked about. We've talked about, one-to-one attribution of like, did somebody see an ad? Did they come? And then there's obviously the platform things around engagement. So, which one of those would you rank? And then, I put two open-ended questions here. You'll see that they're not required, because I know when I take surveys, I'll take the easy ones, and, rarely do I type. But if you're so inclined, we would love, a little bit more free-form text, right? Like, hey, this is the solution that I wish somebody would offer me. Please, if you're so inclined, type that out, both for, either for a targeting or a measurement one. And then lastly, if you want to provide feedback, and we can, reach out and then get you more involved individually. But if you want to do that, go ahead and fill that out, put in your email, and then we can get back to you. So that was my that was my request for help here. This is my
Yeah,
thing.
that's great. Thanks, Kevin. So I shared the survey link. If someone has requested access, not sure if the settings need to be changed. Hold on. Ruby says it only works if you requested access. Let me get a different link. That's weird. It's not how it was intended. Sorry. Give me a sec to try that again.
Oh yeah, I just clicked on it. It looks like you should be able to change that link in the settings, but it does say you need permission to view that link.
That's so weird. Wait, the settings in the form?
Yep.
All right, I'm back on the form. I'm gonna click share, or actually send. Send. Collect email addresses. No. Email. Thanks for visiting us. Invited. Add editor. I don't even see that.
Try under sharing.
Yeah, I'm under sharing. And then it says send via link. I don't see anything about people having to request. Can I just...
When you click on link, does it have link settings?
No.
Hmm.
Yeah, is everybody else having that same issue? I mean,
It does say this form can only be viewed by users in the owner's organization. Try contacting the owner of the form if you think this is a mistake. So it might be based on the org.
Settings. Make this a quiz. Form defaults, question defaults. Sorry, everybody. Thank you for that feedback. This is only the most important part of the whole thing. Add collaborators. Can't imagine. This is the strangest thing. I mean, I do this all the time. Let me make a copy of this thing. Share with the same people. Ugh. Sorry, everybody. I will do everything I can to get this out to momentarily. I am inside of Google Forms. I'm open to any and all ideas too. All right. Civic onboarding TTRA, remover name. All right, I'm gonna just make a copy of it and try it that way. Settings. Got it.
You got it?
Found it.
Yes. All
Okay.
right, I'll try and
Thanks,
refresh.
Pat. Okay, here comes the new link. Shorten the URL. And pasting
Oh,
it.
perfect. Ruby said it works now.
Oh, that's weird because I didn't paste it again. It's even weirder. All right, try this link. Oh, maybe it just updated
It
internally.
should just update that one. Oh, yep, I've got it too. Looks like you're good to go.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Nice
So,
work.
yeah, so yeah, the tech prowess of panicking through the Google settings. So the hope here is that I want you to feel really empowered. Like Kevin and I live at Placer on what's called the strategy team. And the strategy team basically has a seat at the table for the product roadmap and one of the seats. So the feedback that we get from you is actually going to make its way. This isn't, frivolous. So we really want to know that specifically, is this valuable? What's missing? What would make it more valuable for the overnight dashboard, for the visitors dashboard, for the advertising and targeting strategies? What data would be missing? And then I really appreciated what Kevin said, where he was like, look, we're a data company. What you want Zillow? You want Paychex stuff? Like, what do you want here? You're the researchers, right? We don't live in your world, but I'm curious, like on your whiteboards, right? What do you have that's like circled or underlined that's like, oh, it would be great if we could find this data to tell our story or to make our or to do our research. So really, it doesn't have to be. It can be a total surprise to us, right? If there's information that you want, that you think would make this product, just super helpful to you in what you're doing, please let us know. That's literally what this is for. Yeah, and we will, we will decide. I think, I guess we can share this data with you. Let's see. Yeah, we can share this data. Is everybody banging on the form? That's awesome. So, by the way, the hope is that I know we don't have a lot of time left, but I do want to share with you that we're also going to be rolling out, going back to sort of my original slide of where we are in the rollout of the roadmap. We will be creating a hotel lodging report that's going out soon. Probably Q1 would be my estimate of when it's going to be ready. And which I'm, by the way, super excited about because, we launched into the DMO space with location data, and we get the overnights data, the spend data, the advertising strategies that Kevin's working on, lodging data would be the next one. So, and then once we get through that, that's the TBD part of that slide that says what's next. And you're welcome to think like that in the way that you respond to these forms. Let me pull up the slides real quick. Cool. We got through this much faster, which was great. So I'm going to look at the chat. And then I'm getting some feedback now on the in-market visitor spend in percentages. All right, we get all the credit card transactions and debit transactions, but obviously if you book a hotel like on points, for example, we're not going to see that. And then if it's done out of market, we won't see it. So this is truly all the transactions that occur within the geo of the market. That's the data. That's the response I've got so far. My hunch is that question is actually asking what percentage of the transactions in market are you capturing? I'm guessing that's the actual what's at the root of that question. So I'm still waiting on that. And then somebody at Peach asked, all card brands, question mark. So we do not exclude any card. What we capture is what's coming through the financial institutions and the banks that we're partnered with on this. And they are working with a wide array of cards. So we do not say no Discover card, no Diners Club, no Amex, no Visa, anything like that. So it's the major credit card brands and the major debit, also the debit, they're also debit cards inside of this data. And we're actually, I think, pretty sure actually we're working with 2 different aggregators of that data. And then as a way of truthing and ground and improving accuracy. And then how many banks? I'd have to get back to you on that. I can find that out. If you need it sounds like the folks from SC Low Country are asking sort of some details about it. So what I'll do is I'll get back with the team and get whatever the language is that we can. No, it's fine. It's of course that's, you know, you're not. I'm saying, by the way, I'm talking like I'm responding. He said, I'm sorry for grilling. No, of course I would want to know too. So you know, if you're going to use numbers and go report on those numbers, let me give you like the hard answer about exactly how many, or at least to the degree that we can inside of the way our partnerships what we share. Still waiting for more of an answer on that. You got it. Okay, by the way, we can give you some time back for your day. We do not operate in South Africa, unfortunately. That's one of the questions that just came up. We operate in US-based, we have US-based data at this time. We do have expansion plans, but right now everything is US-based. So I actually have one additional question, which is, and then I'm going to go take a look at the forms, which is, it seems to us that the data that's currently being provided to you by us, by the likes of, you know, Adara or Datafy, Zartico, Arrivalist, it has definitely occurred to us that it seems like, and I've heard this at your events as well, that you sort of need to go to multiple places to get a bunch of this different data, and you end up working with a bunch of different vendors. So if you want to add in that form, you know, like what would make a Placer a comprehensive solution for you if there's certain things that we're not doing. Like I can tell you right now, like we're not doing pixel-driven attribution through, you know, we're not doing MAIDs in phones, right? We have a privacy-first mission, and we're a privacy-first company. And we only work with aggregated data that's been stripped of personally identifiable information. If you say, hey, I must have that to do my job, that's good for us to know. I'm not suggesting that we're going to change our mission, but for our methods, it might be something that's really helpful for us to know. So feel free to utilize this form, everyone, to tell us really what you need to do your jobs. Like this is literally making, somebody sent me a help note on that was awesome. Thanks. This is really meant to give everybody a chance to have your voices heard. And with that, I just want to take a quick opportunity to thank, and then I'm going to pull up some of these responses. So first of all, I just want to take an opportunity to thank everybody from TTRA for helping us put this together. And then I'm going to start to look at some of this data that's coming in. Okay, cool. So here's what we're learning. How often do you use this dashboard? Every month seems to be the most popular answer. You want the data every month. So does that, if we find out that everybody's saying we need it every month, that could drive us to automate pushing this data to you, right? So maybe that's the most important piece. And the top three media channels, digital, linear, and print. So nothing for billboards, nothing for direct mail, nothing on retail media networks. Would you rather prioritize measurement or targeting? Most responses for measurement, right? So yeah, this is exactly the data that we're hoping to capture from you all. Is anybody trying to access the form and not being able to access the form? Would love to know about. No, everybody's in? Okay, great. Okay, so with that, so let me ask you this. If you haven't done so already, please take a look at the form. And if you could, let's say within the next 24 hours, feel free to fill out the form. I would also ask you one additional question. Would you please feel comfortable forwarding this form to the other people in your organization? If you work with the CMO, if you work with the CEO, if you work with other folks in your DMOs, feel free to share this with them. And we will be building out our roadmap to suit your preferences. So with that, Kevin, I want to take a moment to thank you for joining us and rolling this out. This is exactly the data we're hoping to collect. We will be getting back to TTRA with these results and sharing them with everybody. So feel free. And then the last question in the survey is, do you wish to be included in our future design rollouts? And we're happy to put together a team of TTRA members who will basically be able to receive from us regularly going forward. Perhaps it would be quarterly. The data, excuse me, the product features that we're building out so that you're able to give us feedback on in the future. So please let us know if that's something that you would like to be part of, and we'd be thrilled to have you. Once again, I'm going to give you a few minutes back on your day, and please, if you could use those minutes to complete the survey form. And thank you to the folks at TTRA and to Kevin for joining us.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, super vital feedback coming in. This is great.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Ian. As they said, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can also reach out to info@ttra.com if you have any questions or need any contact information. TTRA members will receive free access to this recording in the coming days, and non-members will be able to purchase the recording for $30. Thank you all and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.